I was born in a small town just outside of Flint, Michigan. I'm the product of two workaholics, and it shows. I also am the baby of the family, but I don't fit any of the typical birth order rules. While I do have two older brothers, the middle older brother was born with Down syndrome, and because of that, it changed some of the family dynamics pretty early on. Now, I was not an easy child, and my parents would be the first to tell you that if you ever met them. In fact, the number of brushes with death that I had throughout my childhood was unusual, to say the least. But I do remember as a kid once playing Lego with my brother Don, the one with Down syndrome. And I had the realization out of the blue that there were going to be life events that I was going to have. I was going to learn how to drive, I was going to graduate high school, go to college, hopefully get married and have kids. And all those were things that my brother was likely never going to experience, at least not firsthand. And it was like a switch was flipped within me. And it's once you have an awareness like that at such an early age, it changes how you look at life. Now, I met my wife at a pretty early age. We were in the same 4th grade class, and one morning in 7th grade, out of the blue, I just woke up smitten with her. I just woke up in love with her. Now, it took a number of years for her to give me the time of day, but we eventually started dating in our freshman or sophomore year of high school, and eventually got married after our freshman year at college. We had both moved to Minnesota after high school to attend a Christian university in downtown Minneapolis. She was studying psychology, and I was studying youth ministry. Now, I should say that I never had any aspirations of going into the financial industry. In fact, I was going to be a youth pastor. I had always intended to work with poor teenagers, and now I get to work with rich old people. But I've realized as time has gone on that teenagers don't stop being teenagers just when they turn 20. They just get older and tend to have more money. But when you get married at such a young age, you have to start dealing with real world bills and challenges. And so as a result, we had to work full time while also going to school full time and volunteering at our church. And it was through our church that I met the business owner of an investment company who, in a passing conversation, told me to apply for an entry-level position in the business. And so that's what I did. I applied and effectively was scheduling appointments for clients that would come into the office. But as time went on, I took on more responsibilities of the company, eventually got licensed, and found myself responsible for the compliance, the day-to-day investment decisions, trading, and really handling those day-to-day operations of the firm. But in 2011, I broke away from that company and started doing consulting around the country. In fact, I worked with, I guess, about 1,000 different investment advisor representatives around the country. And what I would do is I would get to know these advisors, understand what they were trying to do within their business, and then give them guidance in terms of how to construct portfolios, how to better trade those systems, and then also be able to provide guidance with them in their messaging with their clients so that they were communicating accurately what they were doing for their clients so that the clients were being well taken care of. Eventually, I started my own RIA, and I also returned to the company that I cut my teeth in the financial world, and served as their chief operating officer. Now, as time played out, those two companies were eventually acquired by Larson Financial Holdings. And when that took place, I joined the executive team of the company and became president of the shared services side of the company that took care of the subsidiaries. So I managed the teams of compliance, HR, legal, finance, IT, investments, and marketing. And throughout that, we would serve both the broker-dealer, the investment advisor companies that were underneath it, as well as the other subsidiaries. And in 2023, I transitioned to become president of Intra Financial based out of Houston, Texas. After racking up more airline miles than my wife would like, and when the company went through a transition period, I was given the decision of either moving to St. Louis to become chief operating officer once again of the parent company, or moving into the role of being a financial advisor in Minneapolis, which is where my family was rooted. So now, after 20 years within the industry, effectively managing all the teams behind the scenes, I get to serve in the role as being a client's most trusted advisor. And in a lot of ways, the role of a financial advisor is not too dissimilar from that of a pastor. We're invited into clients' most intimate conversations to talk about their dreams and their fears, their challenges and their opportunities. There's a sense of delayed gratification at play in that we're making decisions today for a plan for tomorrow. And the decisions that we do make should have purpose to it. It's one of the most humbling and fulfilling experiences that someone gets to have, to be able to be that calm, soothing voice throughout life's ups and downs, to be able to join people on their journey so that they don't feel alone and help them make the right decisions along the way.